just fair warning.
I don't even.
Hey, folks. Well, here we are on time, starting our live stream, our last live stream of 2023. As is always, you guys are going to see a bunch of links and hopefully follow links to this. Our link tree was a little late today, so some of you might have not gotten any notice of the live stream, seeing how many viewers there are currently on. Well,
it's my bad.
We're probably going to give you guys a little a minute.
I have to cover the branding on my cup. We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Yet. Hey, folks. So, here we are for our live stream. For the folks that show up later, hi. You can restart it and start now, or you can just jump in when we're live. If not, that's fine.
I think we're better without context, honestly. Just jump in.
Without context. We're even better without an audience. It's like a tree falling in the woods type of thing.
It's been a year, guys.
Yes, it has.
Ooh, it's kind of wild to think this is the last live stream of 2023, and I feel simultaneously like we have not been doing these for that long, and also like it's been my entire life.
Yeah, I think this is the 16th live stream. I think. Yeah. I think this is
which is 16 months, so over a year we've been doing live streams.
That's true. That's true. I also think if I'm looking at our metrics here, I got a couple of things set up on my other screen here, as I often do. But we have some.
Our browsers are like our brains, just tabs open everywhere.
Yeah,
just everywhere.
Lottie dottie, everybody. So this is our 89th video, possibly the 90th. It's a little weird right now because we have some stuff going live that's jumping over from the Patreon. If you also check the rest of the channel after watching this, you can check out the new XR NPC. It's me playing a husk. It's the newest virtual reality release. It's jumping over from the Patreon. There's a couple others over there right now. I think we have a Denver Wolf NPC, a Goblin NPC. I think we're going to be dropping our Sexy Dragon on the Patreon.
Sexy Lizard.
I'm sorry. Sexy Lizard. The dragons
Very
were elsewhere.
Distinction.
The dragons were elsewhere, but our sexy Lizard, played by the wonderful Daniel, is going to make his appearance soon on Patreon, and then everybody else will have to wait to see that glory coming here. You can catch up with that if you press play.
But it's muted. What's the point?
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, we'll be echoing terribly, and nobody wants that.
I see. Gotcha. But it's not muted.
Well, my computer's muted.
Tech is very strange right now.
I know.
Guys.
It's been a week.
It certainly has. So this is our 89th video and our 16th live stream. We've been doing this for a while. It is also, incidentally, it's a bit of a what do you call it when something happens every year? An anniversary. Yes, it is the anniversary of our big Anthony Padilla video. So it is super cool that a year ago this was going on. We're going to let the ad play through, but for those of you who don't know,
look at us on the internet.
Yeah, so this is us at the Padilla, Anthony Padilla channel.
Yep.
So yeah, this is us getting our little, it's been a year since we went up on the big channel and got our little rub by Hollywood. You can see in our metrics there's definitely a spike.
Oh, there's a spike.
And we thank everybody who's come to us from the Padilla video. And again, I said it before, I'll say it again. If Anthony, if you ever want to do a follow-up about anything else, have us back out there. Bring me in this one.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Because I know who you are.
That does help. But yeah, so a year ago we had this great opportunity, and between us here at the channel and Padilla over there, mostly Padilla, over 500,000 people have checked out LARP.
Yeah.
Because of those two things. And I think that is super cool. I think
all we need for you is just like hand tattoos and a bunch of rings, and we'll get on the same level.
Oh yeah. I don't have any of those hand tattoos. You could maybe like doodle on me for a while. I don't. Could work. So anyway, we got a whole bunch of stuff to get out to you guys. We have some big old announcements and something very new, and something that we've been working on for a while now, and we're very excited. It's been requested a whole bunch. So we're just kind of jump around right here. I got some stuff that we clipped together for you guys to check out, and I think while we're going to be talking about our next couple of topics, we're going to go ahead and switch over to a time-lapse shot of our closing event. So this is the setup of the, so this is basically Friday into Friday night into Saturday morning, and the beginning of our Crossroads game. So you're going to just kind of see as we're setting things up for the wonderful game that takes place. So we're going to go ahead. You may see some guest stars that you all are familiar with. Can't wait to see you guys shouting out at them. Guys, if there's any topics that you'd like us to broach, if there's any questions that you'd like us to answer, throw them up in the chat and we will see them. Thankfully, there are less, there's more than 0 people watching right now. So hello everyone who's who stepped out here last minute and seeing and saying hey. All right, so as we're watching the time lapse of the Friday setup happen, all right, so we got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipe towards you, and some of those things include like the new kids event this year. This is an expansion that we're very, very excited about here at Crossroads. I think kids events are a wonderful way to link and keep together our community when, unfortunately, childcare is tough to come by cheaply. So, like, a lot of our players, once they start having kids, they got to take some time off of the game because childcare is expensive, and you know, you can't bring your kids, and they're a priority, and we get that. So a cool thing that we're going to do is these kids events. So on July 6th, that whole weekend, but July 6th will be the day of the game. We're going to be running a kids event. We already have some high-level volunteers. A wonderful, one of our biggest contributors is going to be helping us out. He's also a very talented teacher, so he's going to bring some of his
corralling, not corralling.
Yes, his magical control of small human beings.
Magical control of small human beings in wide open outdoor spaces specifically.
Yes, indeed.
I can run.
There he is.
I can run an event, but I cannot keep up with children.
Yes. So the cool thing that's going to happen with the kids event is it's going to be now a lot of things are kind of amorphous as far as we are building them. The guidelines that we're running with right now, age range, we are shooting from 5 to 15, because anybody older than 15 can page the regular game and become a part of that with some as long as they're
There's
covered,
a guardian,
covered by a guardian.
And
but so we got 5 to 15, and basically what we've done before, depending on how many kids come out, is we break it into 3 different stratospheres of kids, 3 different groups, and then we split them up and bring them together, and split them up and bring them together throughout the weekend. I'm seeing team building games, obviously. A lot of going around and solving mysteries and fighting monsters. The monsters will be solely played by NPCs, well, obviously, but by adults. NPCs are adults. Kids on kid combat does not happen. The kids are the heroes. They are the empowered ones, and they will be chaperoned the entire time on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal. I've seen it done successfully up north. I can't wait to bring it down to the south and give you guys an outlet for your kiddos. It is a good time. It's also something that we are looking into. Expanding the capabilities of having that bridge from the kids event to the adult game linked together.
Yeah. And if you want to bring your rowdy teenagers, I'll do like a scared straight situation with them. We'll take them out in the woods. We'll do the real game and
pretty much. And as we get closer to the date, we're going to put more meat on those bones. But what we've done in the past for the kids that are the higher end teenagers, one, we give them a little responsibility over the groups throughout the weekend via the plot lines and things like that. Also, they get a chance to try the adult game at night. So what we're going to be doing on that Saturday night is we're going to have a module night in the overnight, doing one or two things for the adults that show that link into the core Crossroads game. And give you guys a module day worth of credit towards your characters in the CMA, and that will be tracked that way. There might be a cost attached to it because we have to pay our royalties to the Alliance for playing their game, but we will, like I said, we'll give those details as we get closer to the actual event. Something that I do want to reach out and say is that if you are a parent who wants to bring your little out and are worried about the financial situation, DM us, myself and India. We will work something out. There are a lot of skills out there that you guys have, even if it's swinging a hammer or picking things up and putting them down for me for a couple of days or a couple of hours. The right hours can make all of the difference when it comes to setting up and tearing down this site or whatever projects we do this year.
Yeah.
So not having enough money for whatever we place the price point as, if that is the barrier to you bringing your little one out, talk to us. We'll help you out. I'm also trying to reach out to some smaller community groups in the surrounding areas of kids that could use this type of outlet, and seeing if we can sponsor a van to come out and bring some of the kiddos out there. So it's going to be a really exciting thing, and really getting us out to not only our local community, but kind of branching out to those of us who have kiddos, and showing how big of a family community this can be.
Yeah, and if you've never played Crossroads or LARPed or anything before, and you've always wanted to, but your kids were a consideration for you that you had to not go to games, now you can both try it at the same time. Or if you have friends that are parents, like, I'm not a parent, I've got so many friends who are parents, and you bet they all got a message when we announced the kids event, and I was like, this day, you're coming to Tennessee. This is a threat.
True. Very, very true. And yeah, it's a super cool time, and what that can turn into, if we have enough of interest to it, is we can start to stratify our gameplay, especially as the site grows, to where we can have a different, we can have certain hours of the day where we bring out some pages, and there's certain areas on the site where if parents start to coordinate with each other, we can provide childcare for our parents so they can come out and play, and kind of rotate the childcare aspect and have mini kids games as we go along. But we need that support, and I think the kids game is going to have it's going to stoke that fire and get that rolling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's very, very few things that are more joyous than getting a whole bunch of rabid little ones with swords chasing you down.
Rabid is a good descriptor for that. They just lose all care, and they just go for it. Yeah. There is none of the, I'm gonna look silly if I'm fighting a goblin like this. There's none of that. They just go for it. 110% all the time.
It is awesome. So as you saw in this time lapse, we put up the sun sails, and the sun is going down. You're seeing some of the automatic solar lights that your wonderful support has given us over the night. They're starting to kind of turn on automatically. You're seeing some of the guests show up. I think right before this transitions to Saturday morning, it'll get really, really dark, and you'll see one of our later players showing up on Friday night to set up. But this is what Friday night is on the Crossroads site. We have expanded to Friday night games before. Unfortunately, just because of how many people are coming from far away on the staff side, it's just not viable to give a full game experience for our players on Friday night. But we do this type of stuff, which is setting the scene. It's a lot less stressful for the staff to just show up. Everybody's hanging out, like you're seeing people milling about. You're seeing little flashlights and everything in the dark there. So
oh yeah, there comes the U-Haul.
Yep, and you're seeing the U-Haul. You're going to see the U-Haul pull up in the dark real soon, right before it switches over. But this is what it takes to make one of these events happen. It's hours of work just on the just setting the scene for everybody. And here comes
the Wild Roses.
The Wild Roses with their whole setup, which is enormous. And this is the next morning.
And
so
that's the tent in the background that we totally didn't almost burn down at Nationals.
The tent, and as you can see, it is a little bit further from the fire pit. Which is nice, which is very nice. Yeah, guys, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. Like I said before, we've had a couple of staff additions.
Yes.
We know that we have Lawrence, who's taking over for head of plot, which is going to be great. We are taking our time throughout this off season, talking to individual staff members for the channel. We have figured out our production schedule.
Yes,
and we've gotten the band back together with a couple of more accompanists that are going to jump onto the team this year and see if they like it. Hopefully, we're going to see a little bit more graphic art coming from a certain someone. I don't want to put too much pressure on them.
I see them on the viewers.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited. Again, I don't want to out anyone if they don't want to go public with it until we see their wonderful artwork. But this young person, well, everybody's young to me, but no, it's just one of those people that like you see this amazing like this art bursting out of somebody in almost everything that they do.
Yeah.
Any costume that they touch in my backstage, I always notice that like they always put it a little bit extra and make it a little bit more. And can't wait to see what you do. And we're going to be adding that pretty soon. I think you'll see the first little bits of that in January, which you should also see the first episode. We are working on our first episode of season 4. Woo! First episode of season 4, as we'll pull away from our time lapse. So, as you can see, this is what the Saturday morning of Crossroads looks like before everybody shows up and the game starts. Where everybody just kind of setting up their tents. We got the food vendor over there getting everything ready.
You don't see me backstage crying, so this is my last game as head of plot.
Yeah. Lots of high drama during this closer.
Very high drama. There's a lot of stuff that was ending, a lot of stuff that was starting, storylines closing, knowing that's the closer. I think the closers always have higher emotions because everybody knows it's the last game of the year.
It's true.
And so there's always the underlying tension of I'm not going to see these people for a very long time if they live far away from me. There's always more emotions at the closer. Yeah,
and we have a pretty long off season.
We do.
I mean, we're looking at right now 4 months before we're playing again. We're not playing until April in Crossroads, but we are going to be playing sooner than that. Sooner. Compound word. We're going to be in Atlanta.
Yes.
And that is super exciting because that is going to be the 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yes.
Well, 12th and 13th, I don't think they play on Sunday. They don't play on Sunday.
Sunday cleanup.
Yeah, they just clean up on Sunday.
Yeah, they got to get out of there.
That is right. So, the cool thing that I'm going to try to show you guys... 12th and 13th
of January, by the way.
The 12th and 13th of January. So, we are going to go to a battle replay right now. That's what we call this screen when I share the screens here.
Battle replay.
And we are going to use... This is the CMA, folks. So, this is a little... I know this isn't a coordinated, like, tutorial thing, but this is how I go about registering in the CMA. So I'm going to find all of the upcoming events in the Alliance that are registered right now. As you can see, there's more and more of them showing up. We've got Atlanta games, Chicago games, New Hampshire games.
New Hampshire? Ooh, they have Dad, that's my birthday.
That's their. I think they're having a like a tavern night.
New Hampshire, I'm
Susie
coming to your
reached out.
tavern next to my
Susie,
birthday.
that sounds awesome. Good luck to you guys. But as you can see, there are events populating, so I will click there, and you can see start pre-registration. All right, and it'll choose my characters. So I have a couple characters in the Alliances database, and you can see, oh no, you know how big my characters are.
Oh no, numbers!
So I'm working on a character to actually play down there. So I'm going to put that guy there. I'm planning on NPCing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And since I don't have a lot of answers to a lot of these questions, so every chapter does their own check-in questions as I'm going through now, but a lot of them are based on PC, and this is great. PCs, when you're registering,
read the questions.
Fill this in.
It helps the logistics team. It helps the plot team. It helps everybody just to know as much as they can about what you plan on doing that weekend, especially if you're a crafter, a spellcaster. Having all that stuff ahead of time, one, saves you time in game, and two, saves them a lot of time. It's very, very nice. Please do it.
Yes, indeed. So I am answering.
Membership for Alliance,
All right, so I am now pre-registered. Now, a really cool thing that they do in Atlanta, I'm not sure if I have it picked up here. I don't. But Atlanta, now, obviously, they don't update it real time, but it's super cool. They actually, on the forums, track, so they have a to ensure the highest possible standard of play down in Atlanta. They enforce a 4-to-1 NPC to PC ratio. So for every one NPC, 4 PCs are allowed to play, and what that allows is NPCs to not be viciously outnumbered in engagements.
Aggressively outnumbered.
It is no fun to be outnumbered 16-1. That is where a lot of LARPs go wrong, and I think Atlanta is making a very, very good choice by enforcing this. And in most cases, just the mention of enforcing something like this often just causes just enough people to decide to NPC for the weekend that you end up getting your ratio anyway. So that'll be really, really exciting to see.
I was trying to find their list, but
their list is in their regular forums. Is that the regular forums?
This is their regular
out of game. Go all the way down. Go all. It is that one. Pre-registration.
Pre-registration. January. It's 2023.
So whatever that one is, it should be a new that one. There it
the
is.
one that's bolded, like I haven't read it yet. Guys, tech is hard.
Tech is hard. Tech is very hard. So
if you guys want to know, if you're thinking about coming to Atlanta and you want to know if you should PC or NPC, I'm going to paste their forum post with the ratio in the chat here, so you can make an educated decision about NPCing or PCing.
Yes.
Which I have yet to do. I really should do that.
You should. You should. So I'll be NPCing with a couple of friends down there in Atlanta. I would like to PC in the future there. And I may change my mind in between now and then, but more than likely I'll end up NPCing. But Atlanta is going to be our first episode in January.
Yeah.
So the end of January. So our plan right now is to put out a new episode towards the end of the month every month. In a perfect world, like we did today, making that VR episode live, it'll be around the live stream, but more than likely it'll be the last.
Yeah, it'll be like the week after the live stream.
Yeah, that's the way our rhythm of production is seeming to work out right now, and that is very exciting because we have a lot of new things coming around. Do you wanna? Should we show the big razzle dazzle, the big shebang, the big potato?
I don't know. Are they gonna appreciate it? I think they'll appreciate it.
I think they will appreciate it. I mean, there's so many of them watching live right now.
All 10 of you.
Because we did such a good job of letting everybody know that we were going to go live.
In my defense, I did not pre-post it because I was busy working on the big razzle dazzle.
The big razzle dazzle, that's right. So let me get up the big razzle dazzle here. That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
No,
that's the wrong thing.
That's the right one.
All right. So I'm going to get ready to dissolve into our split screen shot so we can show you our brand new website. That's right, folks. Brand new to us. It's going to also incorporate into a larger brand change that we are working towards right now. But here it is. Drum roll. Drum. Were you going to clap a drum roll? How do you... I can't do this and click the thing at the same time. All right, here we go. Yeah! All right, Love Crossroads. All right, so here we have a brand new website that has links to all of the cool stuff that we do.
Yes.
But in addition, do you want me? Okay, so I can do the clicking. Why don't you do the tour since you did vastly the majority of work on this thing?
So most of it is the same-ish information that you would find on our old website. We're just updating the look of it a little bit, and we're adding some new features. One of the new features is the videos page, where you can access essentially all of our YouTube channel content just directly from the website. So people who may be looking at it and don't want to hop between two different platforms, they can now access all of our YouTube videos on our website directly. There's also links to, of course, find the YouTube channel and our Patreon if they're interested, but we so far have it categorized by Alliance chapter. And so as we add more videos, the website videos will also get updated that same way. I've updated our staff page, which is under About.
Okay.
And then... Oh, sorry, it's the contact page.
No!
I know.
I mean, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah. Contact is the...
Contacts!
So, this is our staff for the 2024 season. So, you have...
Not all-inclusive. Not all-inclusive. We have some additional...
Yeah, we have some additional ones, but this is where you'll find the staff for 2024. You'll see a couple new additions there. Lawrence, the head of plot now. Me up there still as the GM. And then Samson, our new player rep. So if you have somebody who's new to Crossroads, new to Alliance, is thinking about coming and playing, bother that guy. That's his job now.
Do you notice that Jeannie is photobombing twice?
Yeah, because she's that important. Yeah, she's the most important staff member. She gets to be in there twice.
Figures.
Well, that's her photobombing you, and the other one is her profile.
Yeah, that's her.
She is the most important staff member that we have.
Very, very important.
Very, very important.
Super important. All right, what else?
Those are the two new additions to the website. The donations and everything are still there for you to access. If you want to donate, our policies are there. I also, under rules, I have added under rules, there you go. Rules. I have added the 2.1 Alliance Crossroads rulebook as well, so you can now, it's not the 2.0 rulebook that we had on the website before, that has been updated. Rulebook. With the cover there for easy access. If you notice that the Traveler's Guide to Cosmara is not on the website, that's intentional. It is still being edited for the new changes from 2.0. The only other new thing
Are you ready? I'm pretty excited about this.
A shop.
This, guys, is what we've gotten a lot of requests throughout this year. Why don't you guys have swag? It's taken a lot of to-doing.
It's a lot of to-doing.
And a lot of hoop jumping, but here it is. We now have a large run of a couple of different designs of some cool stuff.
Yep.
That I think you guys will really like. So we got all of these things. We got stickers, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got bags. Mugs. We got like 3-4 different types of mugs. Check this mug out right here. Okay, so here's a cool thing about this enamel mug. Now you're looking at it and you're like, why is that? It's a little. Why is it so little? Tiny. Well, here's the thing. This is it's not ceramic. It is enamel. It's enamel, so it's metal.
It's called a camping mug.
A camping mug. That's right. So it is wearable in game, and we made the logo super small, so it's not that intrusive. So you can use this mug in game as your character. Yes. I think that's pretty darn cool.
It is safe to be put over like heated surfaces, like maybe the edge of a fire pit. It is not microwave safe.
Because it's metal.
So the other mugs are. This one is not, because it is a camp mug, so it is a metal coated with enamel, so that it's hardy, it's lightweight, and it is good
mugs.
for in-game drinking.
Yeah, so we got a whole run of mugs. We got the Dissonance mug. We got the Crossroads mug. So the cool thing, and we have some other characters that are coming your way that you guys might be, we have Gus the Gnome. We have Genie. So we are working on some other cool little things. And the cool part about this, just like the Patreon guys, is that this goes right into our operations.
Yeah.
So this is what is keeping... So it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? So we've started, and every time something comes in, we are putting it back into this project and causing, more and more momentum. So now we have a bunch of different types of mugs that you can buy, and a whole bunch of different types of cool T-shirts that you can buy. What I really like also, and I'm gonna harp on this one a little bit here, is cool NPC shirts.
Oh,
see how it doesn't have giant like logos on it, so you get that. It has enough that, like, those who know like, I got my Crossroads swag, but also you can completely wear it as an NPC. An NPC during
there is
NPC
a t-shirt, tank top, and a hoodie that could be used as NPC overgarb or undergarb in those dark neutral colors with just the Dissonance head, including a beanie, and the beanie's cool because the Dissonance head is going to be embroidered.
Yeah.
Not just a flat print, it's going to be embroidered.
Yeah. So, whole bunch of cool stuff. Again, you guys have been asking for it, so here it is. I hope you like it. I hope you guys check it out. Again, if you want to get some other branded swag, the Patreon is a wonderful way to do it. The Patreon has been what has kept us on the road shooting all of these other games, because it's relatively cheap to shoot our own game. But there are a lot of costs involved in getting out to other games to do the shoots, not only the production costs of putting up their episodes.
And I see a chat saying dwarf baby shirt when, and to that I will say our holiday New Year / off season thing that we are doing is the design contest that I mentioned a while ago. If you want a dwarf baby t-shirt, submit the dwarf baby for the design contest, because any of the designs that we pick as the winners are going to be, the players are going to be given in-game goodies, goblin stamps, maybe some dragon stamps, we'll see what we can do, things like that. A discount code to use in the store, as well as seeing your designs on merch. So, and you can submit as many designs as you want. There are guidelines that we'll be posting probably after Christmas, because this time of year is not real to me. There's so much happening. So I'll post it after Christmas, around the new year. But essentially, as long as it's generic LARP content, not something that you just took from another game, it has to be Crossroads or generic LARP, is your own design, you can submit it. And when I say your own design, I don't mean that you have to sit, Christia, you don't have to sit in front of an easel and paint a Van Gogh oil painting or anything like that. If you have graphic design skills, or if you want to work with a friend who maybe has a more artistic ability than you do, you can work in teams and split the prizes, and you'll be able to, you don't have to draw it all by hand. You can do graphic design. You can, as long as it's an original design by you that is not licensed somewhere else.
It's important. We don't want the I don't know who comes and gets you when
it depends on what they take.
There's a legal t-shirt police out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess with them.
I don't want to be woken up to t-shirt guns at 3 a.m. because the t-shirt police are at my door. No, thank you.
That's what they do. They just,
with t-shirt guns.
That would hurt, man. Those things
so
they pack a wallop. No doubt. Okay, so
there is not a link or more info yet. I will be posting that around the new year.
That we will. Yep. That we will. But you can start your doodles right now and your concepts right now, and your art will be vastly appreciated. And we're really looking forward to expanding not only our swag line, but our outreach to people, because every time we wear one of these, there's a chance of somebody going like, "Hey, what's that?"
What's that?
And
especially if it's a dwarf baby shirt somebody designs, people are like, "What is a dwarf baby?" And they'll
what
be like,
is
"Oh
a
boy,
dwarf?
here we go."
Here's our. I got a challenge for you guys. Ask dwarf baby about rule number 3.
There you go. Ask dwarf baby about rule number 3. I think dwarf baby is the perfect example of what not following rule number 3 is, because everybody's terrified of dwarf baby.
Dwarf baby is pretty scary. Dwarf baby is chilling. No
Dwarf baby
doubt.
haunts my nightmares.
That they do. So, again, guys, we have a brand new website. It is larpcrossroads.com. Now, next level thinking here, guys, and this is more of a channel type of thing. We're changing the brand and the title of the channel to LARP Crossroads because of our emphatic outreach to other games that are not the Alliance game system.
The flavors of LARP run deep, and I want to taste them all.
Very much so. And as I'm opening up things and doing that, I think that something that is a weakness in especially the American LARP scene is the fact that we are so siloed from each other. Once you get your game, a LARPer plays their game, and it's really hard if that game is still being produced locally for them to try another one. And I really wish that there was a way, and this is what we're going to try to do, of branching between the games to show that your game doesn't need to die for you to try another one.
Yeah.
Right? And there is plenty of market share out there. There are plenty of LARPers out there. We just got to find them with outreach like this. And I truly think that it's there are enough channels about LARP in the YouTube right now, because go ahead and search them. There's a bunch of them.
So many.
And where most of us are very, very small with a couple of big ones here and there. But if we start reaching out to each other, and if we start doing guest spots, kind of like we do with Susie. Yeah. Right? Like Padillo did with us. Yeah. There is, we can build that momentum together. And I said it in the last live stream, I want to get better at this, and I know that I gain knowledge when I go see how other Alliance games operate. I think that it would be even more of an asset to our game system for us to go outside of our game system and see not even on like the game mechanics side of things, like on the event coordination side of things, the beans and, well, my old world, beans and bullets of it all. But that's, you need boys, beans, and bullets to win an engagement, right? Well, not necessarily boys, but stuff. The triple Bs, they used to call it. I guess we can call it butts. Everybody has butts. So butts, beans, and bullets. That's how you win butts, beans, and blades for the classical. There you go.
There we go. Okay, hey Google, remind me to make a butts, beans, and blades T-shirt.
Butts, beans, and blades. Weird.
Just take the Better Business Bureau logo and just fix it with butts, beans, and blades.
Darn right.
Somebody do it. I'm giving that to you. There's a design idea. Go forth and conquer.
So something that we are doing is, and we've been doing this for a while now, is we've been reaching out to other games and seeing if they want to host us, and we have some interest out there. So this coming year, shooting season 4, we're going to be hitting up other LARPs and doing some guest spots and doing some outreach there.
Sample some flavors.
Very much so. And I'm going to reach out to other of those larger channels that are connected to those larger games and hopefully do some crossovers. Again, we're kind of the small, we're
not the smallest, but we are a little fish. We're a little fish.
We're a little fish. But I do think that we bring something special to the Geist, because we are not just, and there's nothing wrong with the other channels, but I think that we bring something unique to this medium, and we're having a darn good time doing it. So if you can check out LARP Crossroads check out that shop if you want to buy some merch. That would help us out.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. What else do we got here? I know that we want to talk about some of the more challenging things that come along in LARP. We're not really sure if this is the episode to do it. But
it's the last episode of the year. Same high emotions as with a season closer. It's end of a year. There's always stuff going on end of the year.
Yeah, and it's this has been a particularly challenging year for us as producers. Yeah. We got a lot of curveballs thrown our way as the year went on, and not everything that you see when you do this much is good. Sometimes it's not so good.
Yeah.
And
you're involved in as many spider webs as you can get your fingers in. There's always challenges.
Yeah, and that's in a lot of cases, guys, that's just people. And what we want to encourage you not to be is a shitty LARPer.
Yeah.
Don't be one.
Don't be one.
And like the worst thing that I think that you could be at a LARP is a bad part of it. I mean, like that's one of my goals is whenever I'm doing a LARP is to try to get on the favorites page of people. That's where, like, I think is a really cool thing to kind of give each other pats on the back, and recognition of, hey, you made my time a little bit better.
Yeah, you made an impact on my event enough that it stuck in my brain when I'm writing down a list of all the things that I remember from the event.
Yep. So, like, if you go to a LARP with only your good time in mind, you might be a shitty LARPer. If you want to get every single little piece of the plot during the game, everything has to be under your control, and you have to be the ultimate mastermind of absolutely every part of the game, no matter what, you might be a shitty LARPer. And if you, well, let's say, if you never NPC, ever, never, ever, never, you never really have that side of the game, and you're pushing. Now, not everybody who does an NPC is a shitty LARPer.
No.
Right? But NPCing gives perspective. All right? And this is something that comes up in our show quite a bit. NPC versus PCing. All right? What you don't want to do when you are PCing for the first time. All right? And maybe we can this is what shitty LARPers do. Okay, not necessarily NPCing for the first time, but so let's look at this shitty LARPer right here.
Do you love this stock image that we got off the internet, and of this just a random dude? Yep,
shitty LARPer. So here's this shitty LARPer, and this shitty LARPer paid a bunch of money for this costume piece.
Yeah.
But you see, because he's not really committed to the art form and didn't really do any kind of research. He didn't NPC first. He had no idea what the game was about. So he
didn't talk to anybody about the game first. He never messaged anybody on Discord.
Yep. Never asked any questions. Just figured, I read the rule book. I'm going to be great. So shows up to his first game as a PC, looking like this. Which, again, it's a great piece of kit, but great piece of kit does not make a good player. I know people who show up with nothing because they don't have a lot of money, and they are some of the best LARPers in the world because they don't have a lot of money. They can't just throw money at a problem and hope that it gets fixed over and over and over and over and over again.
Or show up in a very, very, very expensive, fancy piece of armor and expect everybody to give them respect because they're so cool.
Yeah. Your piece of armor does not make you cool. How you treat people makes you cool. And, well, this shitty LARPer does not treat people too great. So he's not that cool. And what you want to avoid particularly during your first games.
Oh, yeah.
It's not realistic to show up as level 2 kingpin of the crime syndicate assassin guild / being a secret prince sling / necromancer / Also, evil knight, good knight.
Oh, you mean the exiled prince who became an assassin, but then learned how to become a necromancer, but then lost everything again, and then became the secret thieves guild leader, right? That guy?
At level 2.
At level 2.
In his first game.
Yeah.
See what I mean, guys? So you got to earn that stuff, and not so much speaking as like, oh, you can't do that until you're one of the old guys. No, but it doesn't make sense to the story, and LARP is a collaborative story. And particularly with our style of LARPs, where it is a serialized, continuous story, you have to respect the things that happen beforehand.
Yes.
Now, a lot of places do like resets and things like that when they want to reset their storylines. Perfectly fine. A lot of chapters have done it. I think New Hampshire is in their 4th or 5th world of their chapter, and that's awesome. Crossroads was specifically built, and you can check it out in the player's guide, especially once the player's guide is done being updated. But the player's guide and the world was specifically built to give you as many different character archetypes to have access to, as many different costume styles to have access to, but also it has a lot of space in that world history. Like, we purposely left tens of thousands of years open for future plot teams to fill in with. And that's why Crossroads, it runs a continuous story because it was built from the very beginning to be continuous. And a lot of other places don't have that same build up, and that's perfectly fine. There are places out there that have, like, I have a 2-year arc that I'm planning and I'm going to run, and then I'm going to hand the chapter over to somebody. Awesome. There's nothing wrong with that.
You get a very clear start, middle, end there. You don't have as much wiggle room in the middle as people change, but the story doesn't.
Very much so. So, what you just need to realize, especially those players that are in chapters that have grown.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I've seen this happen a bunch of different places as thankfully, chapters are getting bigger and bigger. You have a chapter that starts out with 10 to 20 people showing up and playing on the regular, runs a couple of years, and then
you
all
have
of a sudden,
a dedicated town.
Yep. You have a dedicated town, but when you're 20 people, the player base, let's say that you're like 7, like 5 and 15. We'll give it a 3-to-1 ratio. You have 20 people on the site, 5 NPCs, 15 PCs. That is 1, maybe 2 mod teams there in the PC group. But in most cases, the whole town is doing everything together. The entire player base is doing everything together. So they get used to that. And they get used to being involved in absolutely everything. And then all of a sudden, the player base expands. Then all of a sudden, all of those old school players that were there in the beginning aren't getting the same slice of the finite amount of production time that we have in any given weekend. And they feel a little slighted about it. And it's like, it's nothing personal and purposeful that's being done by the production team that's doing these things. They're just the amount of focus when you're producing a 20-person game versus a 80-plus person game or a 50-plus person game. Those are 2 different animals, right?
Very.
And the player base would behoove itself, and guys, remind yourselves of this every now and again. It can't be about you the entire time. Yes, you paid to be there, but look around and realize how many different people that team is challenged with entertaining. And a lot of the times, it ain't easy. And they have a whole plan for that weekend. And they have to keep that plan open enough for you to run up with any kind of curveball idea, right? And your timing is never going to link up with their timing. No. So if you're playing a game, particularly those games that have like, hey, come to NPC camp with your idea, we'll fill it in and we'll run it for you. That is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Because then like you're in the middle of like prepping a wave battle, and then 4 PCs show up right before you pull the trigger on it, wanting to do their own personal plot thing, and you're like, well, what do we do now? So it's really, really difficult without contriving it together and putting it straight up in a schedule to do that right with timing and with moments. So it's a happy accident when it does, and it's beautiful when it does, but it can be really, really challenging. So what I would say to some of our players is, realize the bigger picture and realize the challenges that your staff and owners go through when they run these games. This is event coordination. Those of you who've been, not a lot of people run events in their lives, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have thrown a party in their life. But picture throwing your parties, picture your wedding and how stressful that was. Now imagine running 4 or 5 of those a year with interchanging staff and volunteers and player bases. And then, like, say you wrote half of your event around a group of players and then for whatever reason they don't show up. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So these are all the challenges that, your runners take on. So, give them a little bit of love when you can.
Consider NPCing.
Consider NPCing.
See what goes on the other side of the fence. So that way when things happen, I found after I NPC'd my first game, because I didn't NPC for the first couple years I played, and now I'm a permanent NPC essentially. It didn't change anything about my gameplay except that it made me recognize more stuff going on. It actually gave me more of an insight. I could see more of the leads that NPCs were handing me because I had been handing out those leads as an NPC. If anything, it will just enhance your gameplay, it will enhance your experience, and give you an appreciation for the work and literal blood, sweat, and tears that your staff puts into these games every single time.
Very much so. And yeah, guys, it has been one heck of a year.
Yeah.
On the road, thousands of miles. I broke 200,000 miles on my car this year. Just driving, being able to travel so many different places to see all of these different games. I'm very excited at what's coming in 2024 and where else we're going with this crazy idea that we came up with 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Wow. So I'm going to pull up something that I think is kind of cool. I put together a little clip and we're going to keep on talking, but I'm going to show you guys visually some of the progress that we have made. So I pulled up some of the oldest drone footage and kind of spliced together a couple shots from a couple of events over the years.
That footage is from Joni the First, who ceased to exist in 2021, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yep, so we're going to see some old school drone footage here. So this is Crossroads, this might be 2020 actually, late 2020. Because there's leaves
no
are starting to fall down. There's no fences. So here we are.
Small fire pit.
Well, small square.
Yeah.
So over the years, folks, this is where we started, and as this little video progresses, it's going to show you where we ended up. But looking at where we came from, and this is 3 years in. It took us 3 years to get it to this starting point with the additional cabins or
building
sheds. There's where our tavern used to be like, our little.
The inside has only changed with the accoutrements.
It's
still the same layout essentially.
Very much so.
Except that pool table's gone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
we got rid of that. Lots more. I didn't get any of the interior updates. I'm hoping that some more of those will happen over the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're seeing,
there's no stage.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dedicated paths that you can see where they've been trodden down by your feet over the years.
Well, here's a little bit later. We've gotten the gate added. The porta-johns moved. We've
the
gotten
square fireplace is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, a little bit bigger, a little bit more. So this would be 2022, probably towards I would say the beginning of the 2022 year. Look at that.
2 stages. Rogue's Ridge is still untamed and wild.
You're seeing a lot more paths though.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Starting to see where people drive and trod.
Here we are, the end of 2022.
Yeah. Grass is a lot less green because end of the
Very
year.
much so. Very much so. It's just,
Oh, look at our 2 little picnic tables.
yeah,
Just 2 of them.
yeah. It is, you know, this is something that has taken the blood, sweat, and tears of so many people over the years who have helped us get this work done and do all of these updates, keep this momentum going. I'm very, very proud with, you know, this is what, the end of 2022. We still got another couple of shots yet to go. The progress that we've made because of you, because of your support. You're watching this place grow, and I can't wait to see when we keep on adding to this little reel as we go on, how much more developed it's going to be. You can see if you jump back a couple more videos, if you do the little Nationals promo that we did, you could see a quick couple of shots of our group shots and just seeing the player group grow.
Yeah.
It is so rewarding to see you guys come out and experience something that I've worked and that we've worked very, very hard to give you. I know my skill set lies in making this Crossroads site as sprucey as you can, and busting my butt behind some cameras and driving her all over the place. But without you and your back end knowledge and your support over all of this time, India, you know, this wouldn't still be going if it weren't for you. You know, we got a brand new website, we got a shop now, and you know, that's why you are, you know, you're on the paperwork that you are on the back end, which is pretty darn cool. And we are looking to run more than just one LARP on this site, guys. That's another part of our outreach.
It's because it's an expansive land, as well as the things that are there are bare bones enough that they can be reflavored. Like, why not have another LARP on the site?
And we're looking at the national event now.
Yes, that's where I was like, so that's a lot of cars. 2023
nationals. Yep. So there's nationals. That is currently our biggest event. Our closer was our second biggest event ever. Yes. So one after another. That was also wonderful to see. Guys, every time you show up, it makes the place a little bit better. You know, it just adds something to it. You are looking at all of those volunteer hours. You're looking at all of those donations, volunteer days, goblin stamps. Goblin stamps are what build that, and goblin stamps are what gets that done. So if you want to get some of those, see if you want to come out and help me out building this place. We got big plans coming. I'm very excited to see what happens with the rest of the site and the chapter as we grow. And as you're looking, we got food vendors now. That it's worked out every time that we're probably going to keep on doing that from now on.
I mean, it worked out so well for the Nationals and the closer.
Yeah.
So 110%. The ability to walk out of NPC camp as an NPC, as a staff member running the event, and just go, please to give me hamburger. And then it just showed up. Beautiful. Hot and fresh.
Yeah, and keeping afters on site was also pretty cool too. We did that during our closer. Instead of going out to the local diner, we just...
and scaring the poor. The poor one server always on.
Yeah. We just we paid another meal into the food vendor on Sunday, and we got a lunch, late lunch. They got another round of sales, and we got to hang out on the site without, you know, worried about driving off and everything like that. So it was really cool. And guys, what you're looking at now is the expanded side of the site. You're looking at 3 different module groups running at the same time right there.
Oh yeah, we've got our small wall by the big stage. We've got the docks.
The groups out in the back, out in the trough. Yep. So the expansion of this site just in these short 3 years that we've been showing it to you on this channel, it's been pretty darn huge. And again, I want to thank you guys. And I think this last shot is going to zoom in on a little player drama that we had last event.
I will also say, those mod areas, I was running the mod on the silver docks that you see there, and the other group was just up the hill from us. I couldn't even hear them.
Yeah.
Like, it was so secluded, and it was also very nice because we weren't having to run people halfway across the site to get them separated.
Yeah.
It was great.
And the hills really help with the
Oh, they do.
acoustics of
especially when the trees are all got leaves on them. That really helps too. But
Yeah.
in the winter, it was very, very easy to seclude ourselves. Oh, here comes the player drama.
So now these players are all turned undead. They have lost their module. It was a total party wipe.
Which doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does.
Yep. So they are all turned, and they are. And this is me trying to desperately reposition everything, because this is one of those curveballs that just happens. So. Now that's the evil necromancer played by the lovely Minnesota owner Nate, and
him just giving me the face across the mod, just going,
"Whoops!"
Like, what do I do? It's like, go, just do it.
So this is kind of a lesson, guys, and I've said this before in game to a couple of folks throughout the time. Low level does not always mean easy. And mistakes will often cost you. And this is a mistake costing a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of stuff.
And I mean, one of the mechanics of this mod, too, was they were going to this place to find a thing and destroy it to make the enemies weaker. So this didn't happen again later. But they didn't get it. They didn't get it. They had to go back and do it again later.
Yep. So, and failure is an option and should be in your LARP gaming. You know, we have life spells for a reason. We have in the Alliance game system a resurrection system for a reason. Yeah. It is so that you can replicate dire situations with your stories, so that you can give epic losses, so that you can earn your bad guys' heat, that the hate that they create among your player base, to go, oh, I'm gonna get that bad guy because he got me so bad. Well, rolling a team of players probably made them like Nate's necromancer less.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they already didn't like the necromancer, but they went from having a conversation with him to being like, that guy sucks, because they went from living to dead.
Exactly.
And killing their friends. And
the cool thing about that now, with one of the new rules in 2.1, is the metamorphosis rule, which takes the all or nothing approach off the table for those that don't want it in their PC game, so that you can play that high risk PC without worrying about, well, I just bought that costume for a guy who's only going to be around for a year.
Yeah.
If you don't mind your stat card getting chopped down a little bit every time, or a lot of it.
But that opens up cool roleplay. You know, you come back as the same brain, the same character, with the same connections, but you've been chopped down from the big guy who could wield an axe twice his size and sling spells all day to, I have a dagger and a will.
Yep. But you keep your story if you want to, or if you want to go out like that, you can. And that's a really cool thing. And what we've done in Crossroads is we're ramping up that heat, that pressure, that risk. And without loss, you can't have risk. So it was really cool to get back to that, and I'm looking forward to it.
We're reminding you guys that you guys are an outpost town. You're not a big city. Sanctuary is an outpost town, and sometimes big people look at outpost towns and they go, I'm going to stamp it. Yep.
So, and that's the other thing, is like, if you are all, imagine it like, you know, the cheat code analogy. Like when you play a video game and you put in the cheat code when you first start the game, you're kind of cheating yourself out of the true experience of said game.
The intended experience.
Yeah. So, you know, if you think that you're going to jump right in and be, you know, at level 2 fighting dragons, or as a guild head, or something like that, you're robbing yourself of that arc of your character and that growth for your character. And losses and setbacks are very much a part of good storytelling. You know, think of Lord of the Rings, how low things got when, you know, Aragorn fell off the cliff and they thought he was dead, and they don't know if Gandalf's going to come over and save them at Helm's Deep, and everything is lost. You need that, you know, the wall gets blown up. Those are the moments so you can get to Gandalf coming down the hill and to breaking the line, and so that's where that happens. So if you just continuously lay down for your PCs and just let them beat you over and over again, and worse off, they know going in that they're going to win every time, no matter what. Yeah. Before we sign off, before we say goodnight, we are going a little bit late. This might be our longest one this year so far. But just popped into my head. Guys who run games, folks who run games, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the wonderful people in between who run live LARP events, especially in the Alliance, but I think that this could be carried over to everything. Use code words with your directions. Nothing, and I've seen this happen, and we are guilty of it at Crossroads.
Yeah.
Nothing breaks the tension other than metagaming, worse than metagaming. So imagine, a good tense fight, and they're about to they're really pushing them, and their resources are getting thin, and all of a sudden you hear out of game, last lives, guys. NPCs, last lives. Now every single PC that was up against it before now knows, oh, okay, only one more life.
Yeah.
One more life of the NPCs. So if you had something like, I don't know, baked beans, guys, baked beans, like a code word for whatever the next thing is, if you have to get your direction to your NPCs out some way, just add a little code word so it cuts down on that meta right there. Because that is like crowd meta is something that makes me very sad in larger games, and it happens all of the time.
Yeah.
Metagaming, that is, when I say meta.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't know. And metagaming is using outside game knowledge in-game to have an advantage in-game. Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, do you have anything else you want to throw up? Guys, if you have anything questions-wise you want to get us to answer right now, we can totally do that.
I will just say that the website is live. The link is in the chat. It is very new to being published. If you noticed anything off, or if a button doesn't work, just let me know. It's very easy for me to fix. It's just a matter of when I'm going through the bugs and I'm going through and testing everything, I sometimes miss things because I'm one person looking at the same page over and over and over again. So just let me know if something doesn't work as intended. I will remedy it ASAP. But it should be good to go. Go order a t-shirt, go order a hoodie, get an embroidered beanie, or a gaming mouse pad. That exists too on there.
Yeah, guys.
There it is.
We got stickers, mouse pads.
Tank tops, t-shirts, mugs, hoodies.
And we're going to be adding stuff. We're going to try to add something cool every month that we do a live stream. Yep. Again, so we can, point at the page and ask you guys to help us out. Yeah. And guys, this does help us out a tremendous amount. It is what is keeping us rolling. The Patreon support over the past year has solved problems that would have folded us otherwise. And there have been times, we're not the most affluent folks out there, like most LARPers aren't, but there were some times that if we did not have the additional income that the Patreon provides, I had a blowout during a Denver trip while shooting an episode out there, lost a tire. If it wasn't for just that little wiggle room, I don't know what I would have done financially. And it was just that little buffer that kept us going that much more. And I thank you guys truly for it, and I'm hoping that the amount of work that we're putting in and the amount of support that folks that aren't just our local Crossroads game, I hope that those of you who welcome us into your games see the positive effect that we're bringing to you guys of getting the word out about your game and about all the wonderful games out there. So I think I've stretched enough minutes out of this to find out if we have any other questions. It doesn't look like we do. So guys, remember to check out the brand new VR episode that just dropped live publicly today. It is is me playing a Husk. Check out larpcrossroads.com, especially that shop channel. Please get your wonderful merch. I'd love to see as many pieces of this merch at our next game, which is going to be April 12th is our opener, but you will see us on the battlefield in Alliance Atlanta, and maybe a Dystopia Rising game before that. Here's hoping. We're reaching out to them. We're looking to get out there and try other games.
Yep.
Indy, if you have anything else, let's get it out there. If not, let's wrap this bow up.
Check out patreon.com/Alliance Crossroads. Patrons do get a discount code for our shop, as well as free merch from Patreon.
That's right. You get discount. If you are an existing Patreon, you get discounts on this stuff.
Yep.
Check it out. It's awesome, just like you guys are. And with that being said, I'm going to head up to this wonderful live... Yeah, all right, there's that wonderful website right there. I really like that shot. That is a wonderful shot here at Crossroads. So, guys, thank you so very much for checking this out. We're going to get better at letting people know when we're doing these.
When I'm not building a website, yeah.
Hey, when we're not building a website or trying to create... All right, here's I'm gonna let them know.
Ooh, after hours secret.
We were too busy trying to make leggings.
Listen, I really, really want some leggings, and I am trying really hard to design them, but legs are a weird shape, okay?
You know, you don't want Dissonance's face to show up in the wrong place. It looks
weird. You really
weird.
don't. I'm trying.
On that note,
I will get them, I swear.
On that note, we're going to keep on working on the leggings and having the Dissonance face not in the weird place. Yeah. We're looking for Genie swag. We're looking for all the wonderful stuff that you guys want to get on these t-shirts to help us out. And until next time, guys, we're going to see you next year. Thanks for everything, guys. We'll see you next time. I didn't fart on you at all.